So thank you so much for joining today's meetup. And it's a special one, of course, because it's the end of the year. And what do you do at the end of the year? You look back, right? And I think that we had this remarkable year with a lot of momentum for Backstage, and that all wasn't possible without you contributing, commenting, interacting with each other, doing talks at meetups, at conferences, writing blog posts, recording videos. It is just nothing short of amazing. To go over some numbers, we now have over 75 public adopters. So the fun thing is that when you look at the beginning of this year, it was just 17, right? In September, it was 50, and now we are well over 75. So that is like really, really cool. Over 500 contributors and counting. Around 2,000 forks, 4,000 Discord members, 9,000 PRs, issues, and comments. So you've been busy, folks. You've been busy. So that is super cool. And we just wanted to take this moment to thank you all for this. And I know that Himanshu has created some videos highlighting how big this thing actually is, because some graphical views of that make it a lot more interesting, I think.
Good. Hey, Suzanne. So hey, everyone. If you were here yesterday, you must have seen this, but yeah, let's look at it again. It's just 1 minute and 30 seconds. Yeah. So let me share. This will stop other screen sharing. Yes, it's all right. So yeah, let's start with the visualization of all the activities happening in the code base. And I've speeded up a bit from yesterday. But yeah, see if you can find some names and recognize them. So that was scores, and all those contributions from all those 500 plus people were coming from different parts of the world, which you can see over here. So it's super awesome to sit with all these numbers and think of what music suits the best to represent this kind of activity. So looking forward to doing more of this next year.
Yeah, and let's hope that that we will. Well, if you grow this space, it will be even more impressive. Not impressive 9,000 PRs. It is just hard to like imagine what it is, and like looking at such a map that really like it shows what's really happening. That's so cool. So about showing stuff, we have put up a blog post, and you might have noticed this or not. But let me share this. We have put online 2 decks, which you can use if you want to talk at a conference, want to show stuff to your CTO, engineering team, whatever. There's 2 decks here, which go over the generic story about Backstage, but also a more in-depth deck with speaker notes. So feel free to download it. Like we say, steal this deck and use it to your convenience, and spread your enthusiasm, your story about Backstage, and make it a good one. That's one thing. So go and steal the deck. I think Himanshu will paste the link in the chat. And the other thing which was put online is the explainer video. If you were here early enough, you've seen like loops of little pieces of that video. And this is an exciting video, like with a very, very short story about Backstage. And I really love the geeky references. Go check that out as well. It is there for you. So yeah, go there, spread the word, and thank you for that. We are joined by Vincenzo, and Vincenzo has something to show us.
Hi, thank you, Suzanne. Hi, everyone. My name is Vincenzo, and I work on Backstage at Spotify. And today I want to show you a new product that is supposed to make our life easier. And I would say one of the hardest problems that Backstage adopters are facing today is related to how to upgrade their Backstage application. And so we tried to tackle this problem, and we found out that there was already an open source community which faced the same problem and came up with a good solution to that. I'm talking about the React Native community and their upgrade helper. So let me show more about this product, what I'm talking about. Let me share my screen. I think you see my screen. So this is the product. So during one of our hack days that we run at Spotify, we tried to we took basically the React Native Upgrade Helper as a baseline and tried to introduce Backstage support. And finally, a few days ago, we shipped this product. So this is the repository. It's under the Backstage organization on GitHub. Feel free to check it out. It's open source. So I will share the link in the chat later on. So let's open the tool. In the tool, you can see there are 2 drop downs. On the left one, basically you select the version of Backstage Create tab that you use for bootstrapping your application. And on the right one, you select the version of Backstage you want to upgrade to. So you press the blue button, and then you immediately get a diff showing all the changes that need to be applied to your repository. So for example, in package.json, there are a bunch of packages that need to be bumped. But also, if you scroll down, you might see changes related to ejected files. For example, search.ts in one of our recent versions, a new default collator was introduced. So it's important to also keep these changes on your application as well. And this is exactly the problem that this product wants to solve. So not only help you bumping each package, but also try to help you in apply the changes to the ejected file, because if you miss one of these changes, your application might not behave correctly. So let me talk more about how this product works. So this web application read this information from another repository called Upgrade Helper diff. And in this repository, basically, we store all the changes between each version. For example, let's pick a random file. This file contains the version between the difference between version 0.11 and 0.3.19. So if you open that, it's just a plain text file with just plus and minus depending on the changes. So how this file are generated? So we have an automated process that runs whenever a new version of Backstage is released. And what it does, it runs Backstage create app CLI tool for create and bootstrap a new application and check in all the generated file into a specific branch. So you'll find out basically a branch for each release. So whenever the branch is created, then we go through all the previous version and we generated all the diff files that are basically stored into this directory. Then the web tool, whenever you select a version, the drop down know which file needs to be picked. So that's basically how this product works. So feel free to check out. It's open source. If you have any comments or suggestions, reach out to us. And yeah, you also get different features that could help you in upgrading your application. For example, you could copy the text of the file. You could view a plain text of a file. You could collapse files or mark files as done. So there are different features that could help you out. And what else? This tool is supposed to be used as in addition to the existing CLI tool that we have in Backstage, which is basically versions bump. The CLI tool is supposed to basically, it helps you out in upgrading the dependencies between the packages. But it misses some features regarding like the ejected file. So using this tool together with the versions bump, I think it could help you out in upgrading your Backstage application.
That is amazing. So there's a few questions, I think. Is there a chance this upgrade helper could also show the diff for community plugins?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I guess yes, but we will need to find out a similar way for creating like ejected, for kind of eject a specific plugin into your product, because right now we are kind of using this kind of the create app helper for creating this kind of diff, and of course in the plugins you don't have this kind of capabilities. So it's an interesting question. I think we could brainstorm a bit, but I mean this is a general thing. This was born for React Native, but we were able to introduce the backstage support very easily. So I think it's very generic.
It sounds so promising. So we can get our hands on this and find out what we can do with this. Also saw some remarks about can we get a patch file? Well, basically we have that. You've shown that, so that is totally exciting, and just yank everything out we don't need, or we changed ourselves, manually renamed files or that sort of stuff. So that is quite good. Nice. Great work. If somebody has a question, please open your mic or put it in the chat. I think that with this link, everybody now is gone from this meeting and going to check out Upgrade Helper. But that's okay. We'll just stick here. Just listen to us in the background. The next part on the agenda is the maintainer update. I am not sure who wants to share anything.
I can share.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep. At the risk of of sounding like a broken record, same as last month, to be honest. We are still working towards stabilizing the kind of the core front end parts of the framework. We hope that the last round of deprecations are going to go out in the next release, so just in time for Christmas. And then beyond that, it's we're shipping the kind of breaking changes for the deprecations, and then we're hoping to have a, well, for the foreseeable future, a stable core library for the front end, and that kind of includes the core app API, core plugin API, of course, the config theme, some of those places. Sorry, not theme. So it doesn't cover the components, but the framework is. Then I don't know if we have a link to we have an issue calling out for help with reviews as well. I don't know if someone wants to throw that in the chat, perhaps, just to give that some more visibility.
Yeah, so the question is, go through the issue. There's quite some things where we do need reviewers, and just comment, join the fun. Look if your own name is there, please, and see if you remember that you do this, or that you want to still be on that list. We all respect that, appreciate that you all do this beside your daily struggles you have. So
can potentially quickly answer the question in chat there about the use routref.
Yeah.
I believe that's gonna specifically be the one from catalog React that is causing issues. We'll be doing something about that. Yeah, because that one is it's too convenient for it to not exist, but it's kind of behaving outside the design of routrefs. So we need to treat that in some way to make it less impacted by breaking changes.
Well, this is your moment. If you have any questions, last minute things, please put them in the chat. We have some time, of course, after to go over them, and we'll go over the issue. So any one of the two is good to throw in your last minute things. Next part is we are celebrating one of our contributors, and this month it is. We need some music for this. It is Phil Kuang, and they're not able to go on camera right now, but yeah, we just wanted to thank you for all the many contributions you've done. Amazing work, and we really appreciate this, and this is exactly why we have this contributor spotlight. Even though, well, you're not able to come on the mic or anything, that is okay, but we just wanted to thank you so much. So great, and keep it up. If you know somebody who you would maybe like to nominate, or maybe you would like to nominate yourself, just let us know on Discord, reach out to us. So once again, thank you.
Yeah, Phil, yeah, I'm just checking in if you'd like to come on mic, if it's all right, instead of video.
Possible?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, I'm Phil.
Oh.
So yeah, I can actually say a few words. I didn't want to turn on my camera because I'm actually sick today. But thank you so much for the spotlight, everyone. So a little bit about me, I guess. I work for FactSet Research Systems, which is based in the US, and about how we've been using Backstage. I started looking into this project about a year ago, and I guess I might be in a unique situation here because I've been the sole maintainer of our Backstage instance internally, getting the project deployed and stood up and releasing our MVP a few months ago to our company, which is one of the reasons why I heavily contribute to this project upstream. I think it's in my best interest to make sure any work I do goes back to the open source project to have everyone else help maintain it. which I think also speaks to the, I've been really impressed with the architecture and everything about this project. It made it so much easier to work with the community, and getting changes in, and getting this project deployed was super easy. Just as like a single engineer, getting this up and running has been really smooth on my part so far. So thank you to all the maintainers for their work getting this project together.
Awesome. Well, I see a lot of appreciation in the chat, so take your time to go over it. And thank you once again for anything. And maybe you would want to share something in one of our meetings, maybe present something about the awesome stuff you did, show it off.
Yeah, definitely. I think eventually we do want to present our adoption journey as well from our side, but definitely.
So cool. No, well, we'll know that down for when you're feeling better. I did not expect you coming on mic, so that is even when sick, that is rockstar behavior. Okay. The next thing is going over the issues. So Himanshu will take care of that. Let me stop sharing my screen.
And by the way, sorry, I forgot to click share sound the last time. And I was just enjoying that amazing music by myself for 2 minutes. So look out for some YouTube videos coming.
That is why you were head bopping. And I was like, why
course.
Are you head bopping like this? I'm like, what?
Okay. Of course. Yeah. So we covered a bunch of questions yesterday. There were a few which we were not able to cover. So let me just see. Question about like white labeling Backstage within org. Jen gave a really nice presentation and advice on some recommendations from our side. There's a lovely discussion around what people call Backstage inside their orgs. This is one question that I had for adopters, but we can I can just say it again. So I was thinking about some of you might know that Spotify tracks how Backstage is being adopted inside Spotify, and one of the metrics that's very important for us is onboarding and time to 10th PR for a new joiner in the company. So that's one. There are other things as well: most used plugin, daily active users, etc., etc. And I was thinking, like, if other adopters are hosting Backstage and making all that efforts, it makes sense to like track it. And you know, that's my question. And I created an issue around that, basically a plugin which will help you do that. So maybe you want to know, like, if there are new plugins contributed from different parts of your organization. Maybe you want to know what are the most used plugins in your org and what are some of the least used plugins, maybe something to do about them. Some user trends, catalog trends, some technical metrics, etc. So yeah, there's some discussion ongoing. This is an issue about a plugin, basically showing you that easily. And then, yeah, there's some discussion around it. So if you have any thoughts, you're welcome to unmute yourself and share if you know some metrics that you use inside your org to track Backstage uses and growth of adoption, basically. If not, it's all right.
Sorry. Could I just jump in?
Go ahead. Yeah, absolutely.
Hi, my name is Saeed. So basically, I think one of the usage metrics that probably we would love to see is actually in the area of, what would I say, collecting KPIs in the sense of when people discover services, APIs, or reusable implementations within Backstage itself through the catalog, basically, or they go through the search, for example, we want to be able to kind of like collect that metrics and be able to then use them, to measure adoption or the usefulness of the tool itself. So beyond adoption, basically, I think probably one thing is we want to know if the search results itself, it's actually kind of like useful for somebody and is able to click through. The other point we have with that is it means that if you're thinking of that, probably so many people are thinking of exactly the same thing. And as such, it's just going to be a duplication of effort on multiple fronts to actually do the same thing. So having that issue out there, if it can cover something like, the usability, basically in terms of the fact that if you search for something and you're able to find it, the search results that it produces, the number of positive search results would be something interesting. And also then the click-throughs from Backstage to outside Backstage, like a successful click-through. If somebody finds something, clicks on the result itself, or finds something and clicks to something else that takes. So when there is a transition away from Backstage, and so those are kind of something metrics that we want to collect and be able to use that to prove that Backstage is actually doing the job we actually deployed it to do. That's all I have to say. But I think probably so many people are thinking of exactly the same thing in different fora. And yeah, that's it.
I don't know if someone from Pulp Fiction, this team inside Spotify, is here, but we do so we are a Google Analytics hub, and Eric Peterson, if you've seen him, contributed a Google Analytics module where you can put stuff, feed Google Analytics with things from Backstage. So we do track few of these search metrics. What's the position of the thing you clicked? Is it under 5? Or we think about search as a session instead of individual searches. So if you clicked on something and if you came back on that page, that means that the search result didn't satisfy what you were looking for. So we do have this window of 60 seconds, which we treat that if you clicked on something and didn't come back in 60 seconds, you probably got what you needed. So I think there's lots of rooms for companies sharing these kind of metrics that they're using, which would help other adopters as well. So thanks for sharing.
You can also throw in that there are a couple of issues with different suggestion for metrics to track to implement. Now with the new analytics API that by Eric that Himanshu mentioned, we were able to kind of add some tracking built into the core. And if you have suggestions for things to track, then no, an issue.
Yeah, so some more metrics. And Vincenzo did a very nice demo of Backstage Upgrade Helper, and this is coming from, I know we are chatting today, but sorry, and about calling Backstage Pandora inside your org. That's cool. Looking forward to some of your contributions and demos. That's all then, unless we have, so yeah, over to you, Suzanne, now.
Yeah, so what we have for you today is a bit of a sharing thing with the decks and all, but we have a special background for you to use in Zoom. I hope that Himanshu has it ready. I see him searching. So what you can use, the fun thing is, if you look at the background, you would say, oh, wow, that's a typical Backstage background. But the fun thing is you could also tile it. But there you have the link. So please download it and use it in your Teams call, Zoom call, Google Meet, whatnot. Use it as your desktop background. But that's TikTok. Yeah, put it on TikTok. Well, that would be fun, right? That would be fun. To have something going on TikTok. Could we do that? I don't know. Let's see if we can think of something on there. Why not? So if there is no more questions, we have the usual stuff. Please keep on doing your awesome work. Oh, there's a comment here.
Hey, I have a just general question just for the core maintainers. Just out of curiosity, how are you guys balancing your work balance of reviewing pull requests and like implementing features? Because it just seems like there's so many pull requests. I'm just curious from your perspective how you handle it. I totally understand why you have a call for more reviewers with just how much code there is.
That's a good question indeed. One of the main ways we balance this is that typically we have one person, and this is a rotation, that is the one reviewing and kind of triaging the bigger chunk of pull requests coming in. A tool we're using is we have a bi-weekly triage meeting as well, as in 2 times per week. When it comes to balancing work, we're looking at ways to improve the balance as well. We're looking at ways to split up the project, bring in more of the community to kind of help focus work in different areas of the project. So we're going to be seeing some of that next year.
Cool, sounds good. And just another random question for etiquette with pull requests. I'm sure you, well, I don't know if I'm sure, but do you favor smaller pull requests just to like chip away at an issue? Because I've had some pull requests that are getting a little bit hairy, getting a little bit out of control. So I just wanted your input.
Okay, speaking personally, at least, I think for the maintainer team, smaller is better, but it's not always about smaller as well. It can be the different things that a single pull requests cover. So if you're changing the design of something while fixing a bug in a different place, then that's a very good thing to split up, because the bug fix is probably a very quick merge and you know, an easy review, while a design change or new API or something like that is a bigger discussion. So that's maybe the most important thing. But then after that, yeah, smaller PRs. And even before PRs in some situations, especially when it comes to design, like starting with issues, or very lightweight like draft PRs too.
Yeah, I think one more thing to kind of add on to that is, like, this is also personal for me, is it doesn't matter if the features are not even complete. Like if you can break it up and hide it so that it doesn't affect anything else, and it's just totally hidden behind a feature flag or whatever you want to do, that's also super fun too. Because, like, you know, we can have features that span multiple different parts, and if you just want to implement one bit at a time, then that's super fine, and it helps us out, keeps everything a lot smaller. Yeah, definitely smaller is better, I think, personally.
Cool, thank you.
Do you have, like, how's your experience overall? Can you talk a bit more personally? So what I mean by that is, you might have seen other communities, and every community is different slightly. There's different motivations, different ambitions. How do you see the Backstage community? More personal than technical, like not looking for like a script which create issues, but overall the communications and all.
Is this a question for me?
I was thinking more like, yeah, the maintainers, the people who get to
gotcha.
Review stuff and talk to people and all.
I guess I could start. I mean, I've never really worked. I mean, I've worked a little bit with all before, but never to this scale. I think the community is insanely awesome. Like, the community around Backstage and like the help that you get in Discord, like not just from us as maintainers, I'm not blowing our own trumpet here, but like from the communities in general and them getting involved, it's a great experience to have. And yeah, it's super rewarding. I think a lot of the time, like, you know, that when Patrick's mentioned there's one person that's on triage or whatever for the week, it's kind of tough. Like, there's a lot of stuff that happens in a week, but it makes it all worthwhile when you see everything happening in the community, like Backstage. It's kind of it's weird to say about a software product, right? Like but it is really fun. It's my kind of personal take on it. I'm going to pass it over to the maintainers now for them to share their stuff. No one at once. All right.
I'm searching for points of comparison here.
Yeah, it's tricky. I think I agree with you, Ben. I mean, the community is awesome. It's also massive. There's so many like different like plugins and ways of using Backstage, since it's like so open to customization. I think what struck me as like really fun lately is like when we do a better job at like preparing like issues for stuff that we want to do in the project, that we see community members picking that up and like basically helping out on things that we're like, okay, we as maintainers, we need to go out and fix this, but in reality, someone else in the community could just as well help us and do the work. So yeah, as Patrick mentioned, our biggest challenge like going forward is like trying to scale out the community more to like make sure that people get it, like can be involved in different part of the projects that they have a particular interest in. So some sort of like special interest groups, and something is probably landing sometime next year.
Cool. I'm also looking for tips and tricks for other projects that might spin up. It's happening all over the place. So yeah, if you have concrete like things that you noticed and advices for next generation of open source folks, yeah, please share. And yeah, thanks for sharing. Over to you, Suzanne.
Thank you so much for joining again during this session. Yeah, we'll be back next month with 2 sessions again, both the adopters and the contributors session. Thank you so much for an awesome year. Let's take some time during the holidays to recharge, and at least we will, I know for sure. And we'll be back next year with a new year of Backstage. Happy holidays.